Picture this. You've just adopted the most beautiful, powerful dog you've ever seen. Big chest, confident stride, calm eyes. You named him Bruno. You've watched your videos, read a few articles, and you feel ready. Then Bruno sees another dog across the street, and something switches. Not aggression exactly, more like a laser focus that no amount of sit or leave it seems to reach. Your arm nearly comes out of its socket, and you're standing there on the sidewalk thinking, what exactly did I sign up for? Here's the thing nobody tells you before you bring one of these dogs home. Some breeds weren't designed to cuddle. They were engineered, over centuries, to fight, bait, guard, and dominate. That doesn't make them unlovable. It doesn't make them bad dogs. But it does mean the average owner is walking into something they fundamentally misunderstand. We're covering 7 breeds today that were specifically bred for combat, baiting, or fighting, and what that genetic history actually means for you as an owner in 2025. One of them is probably in your neighborhood right now. And the last one on this list, most people don't even realize it has a fighting history at all. Number 7, Bull Terrier. Let's start with one that doesn't look like your idea of a fighter. The Bull Terrier, with that egg-shaped head and those tiny triangle eyes, looks more like a cartoon character than a gladiator. Don't let that fool you. Bull Terriers were developed in 19th century England by crossing bulldogs with the now extinct White English Terrier. The goal was a dog fast enough, tenacious enough, and pain-tolerant enough for the dogfighting pits. They clocked in at 50 to 70 pounds of pure muscle wrapped in a surprisingly goofy personality. The vibe is chaos. Funny, affectionate, stubborn chaos. Bull Terriers are one of the most comically entertaining dogs you'll ever own. They'll do laps around your living room for no reason. They'll refuse a command they learned 6 months ago just because they feel like it today. They're called the clown in the dog world for a reason. But here's what that fighting ancestry actually means. Bull Terriers have an extremely high prey drive and can be dog aggressive, especially with same-sex dogs. They do not back down from a confrontation. Their pain tolerance, bred into them for the pit, means they won't signal that they're in distress the way other dogs do. Do not get a Bull Terrier if you want a dog that'll get along peacefully with every animal in the dog park. They need firm, consistent training, a patient owner, and very clear rules starting from day one. Number 6, Dogo Argentino. This one is striking. White, muscular, around 80 to 100 pounds. The Dogo Argentino was developed in Argentina in the 1920s by Dr. Antonio Norres Martinez. His goal? Create the ultimate big game hunting dog by crossing the now extinct Cordoba fighting dog with breeds like the Great Dane, Boxer, and Bull Terrier. The Cordoba fighting dog, the foundation of this breed, was so aggressive it would rather fight than mate. That's what you're working with in the DNA. The Dogo Argentino today has been bred toward a more balanced temperament, and in the right hands, they're loyal, athletic, and deeply bonded to their family. But the right hands is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. This is not a first-time owner dog. It is also banned outright in several countries, including the UK, Australia, and parts of Canada. That's a real data point worth sitting with. They're dominant, they have a high prey drive, and they have the physical power to follow through on that drive. They need an owner who is calm, experienced, and consistent, not someone who read 3 Instagram posts about positive reinforcement and calls it a day. Number 5, Cane Corso. If you've been on dog content for more than 5 minutes, you've seen a Cane Corso, ancient Roman war dogs, the direct descendants of a breed that literally went to battle. Today, they're 90 to 120 pounds of quiet, watchful intensity. Here's what the internet gets wrong about the Cane Corso. People buy them for the aesthetic, the blocky head, the raw power, the intimidation, without understanding that a Cane Corso is essentially a loaded weapon that requires a very specific kind of operator. They're deeply loyal to their family, almost eerily so. They're calm indoors, they're not excessive barkers, and with proper socialization they can be gentle giants. But that loyalty comes with a flip side. They're naturally suspicious of strangers, and they make protection decisions on their own if they haven't been taught otherwise. Most Cane Corso problems stem from under-socialization and under-exercise. This dog needs a job. It needs structured activity, obedience work, and an owner who establishes calm authority without aggression. What it doesn't need is to sit in a backyard all day with nothing to do and no clear leadership. That combination has a predictable, ugly ending. Number 4. Tosa Inu. This is where things get serious. The Tosa Inu is Japan's fighting dog, bred specifically for the fighting ring, where silence was required, noise in the pit was considered dishonorable, and size was everything. Japanese breeders crossed native dogs with Mastiffs, St. Bernards, Great Danes, and Bull Terriers to create something enormous, tenacious, and eerily quiet. A Tosa can hit 130 to 200 pounds. Here's what that means practically. A dog with the physical mass of a small bear, a fighting dog's drive, and the temperament to not telegraph its discomfort or aggression through vocalization the way most dogs do. That's a combination that requires an exceptionally experienced handler. The Tosa Inu is outright banned in the UK, Australia, Denmark, and several other countries. In places where they're legal, responsible breeders are rare and the waiting lists are long. This is not a dog you find at a rescue and wing it with. Owners who have successfully raised Tosas describe them as calm, dignified, and deeply loyal. Number 3. American Pit Bull Terrier. We had to talk about this one honestly. The American Pit Bull Terrier was developed in the 19th century from Old English bulldogs and terriers. They were used for bull baiting, then dog fighting, and then, when those were outlawed, they became working farm dogs, loyal family companions, and nanny dogs. That history is real, and it's complicated. Here's the honest truth. The APBT is one of the most misunderstood dogs on the planet. In temperament tests, they consistently score above average for human sociability. They're athletic, smart, eager to please, and genuinely affectionate with people they trust. They can be wonderful family dogs. But dog-to-dog aggression is a real, breed-typical trait. Not universal, not inevitable, but real. And the APBT's physical capability, 30 to 65 pounds of pure muscle, extreme jaw strength, and a high pain tolerance, means that when conflict does occur, the consequences are serious. The failure isn't the dog. The failure is always in the preparation. Owners who haven't socialized early, who haven't trained consistently, who've reinforced guarding or aggressive behavior without realizing it, those owners are the problem. The APBT is not a beginner dog. It needs a confident, educated, patient owner, and it deserves one. Number 2. Presa Canario. The Presa Canario comes from the Canary Islands, bred as a working farm dog and, yes, a fighting dog. At 100 to 160 pounds, with a wide, blocky head and a deep, intimidating bark, they are physically imposing in a way that few dogs match. They're also one of the most frequently involved breeds in serious attacks on humans, not because they're inherently vicious, but because they're powerful, dominant, and in the wrong hands, catastrophically mismanaged. The Presa is not a cuddle dog. It's not a dog that softens with enough love. It is a dominant animal that will test its owner's authority constantly, and if that authority isn't there, the dog fills the vacuum. With 160 pounds of muscle, that's not a metaphor, it's a structural safety issue. They can be calm, loyal, and well-mannered with experienced owners who understand working breeds. But they require early and intense socialization, obedience training that never stops, and an owner who is completely comfortable being the consistent authority in the relationship. Most people aren't, and this breed doesn't forgive that gap. Number 1. American Staffordshire Terrier / Amstaff. Here's the one that surprises people. The Amstaff is the AKC-recognized cousin of the APBT, and because it comes with that official paperwork, people assume it's somehow the safe version, the polished, suburban-friendly alternative. It's not. The American Staffordshire Terrier carries the same fighting dog lineage, the same tenacity, the same jaw strength, and the same dog-to-dog tension that comes with that history. The difference is largely bureaucratic. The AKC registration doesn't change what's in the genetics. What makes the Amstaff the #1 entry on this list isn't that it's the most dangerous, it's that it's the most misrepresented. People bring them home thinking they've chosen the responsible version of a fighting breed, then skip the serious training because, hey, it's the friendly AKC dog. The Amstaff is a genuinely wonderful dog with the right owner. Athletic, loyal, goofy in a way that'll make you laugh out loud, and deeply attached to its family. But it still needs the same commitment, the same structured training, the same early socialization, the same honest respect for what it is as any other breed on this list. The leash doesn't lie. The history doesn't disappear because the Kennel Club gave it a new name. None of the dogs on this list are lost causes. None of them are monsters. Every single one of them can be a devoted, well-adjusted companion in the right situation. But the right situation means an owner who went in with eyes open. Someone who understood the history, respected the drive, did the training, maintained the structure, and never confused love with management. Because these dogs don't need more love. They need leadership. They need consistency. They need someone who didn't just fall for the look and hope the rest would sort itself out. If you already own one of these dogs, drop your breed in the comments and tell me honestly, were you ready when you brought them home? No judgment, just real talk. Because I think a lot of us will have the same answer. And if you're thinking about getting one, that comment section might be the most useful research you do before you sign anything.